Hello again. I'm Joe McTurnan, AOPA's Director of Policy and Regulatory Affairs. Thanks for joining me today for another edition of AOPA's Take. The last time we spoke, one of the topics for discussion was the Medicare 2028 competitive bidding program. At the time, I mentioned that while 2028 seemed quite far away, competitive bidding was going to be part of the picture sooner rather than later. While my crystal ball is not always this clear, the competitive bidding implementation contractor, also known as the CBIC website, was updated on June 4th with a series of fact sheets and timelines regarding the Medicare 2028 competitive bidding program. If you have not had a chance to review this information, I highly encourage you to do so. The website address is www.dmecompetitivebid.com, and it is a valuable resource to learn more about the program and help you decide whether you choose to participate in the bidding process. In addition to the CBIC website, I served as a presenter on a recent collaborative webinar between AOPA and NAAOP that provided a high-level overview of the program and what to expect. The webinar was recorded, and AOPA members may access it through AOPA's AOPAversity education platform. If you have not had the opportunity to view the webinar, it provides a lot of background information about the competitive bidding process and how it will work. In some ways, the 2028 Medicare competitive bidding program will operate in a similar manner to previous competitive bidding rounds, in that the program will rely on a lead item from each product category to serve as the focal point of provider bids, with all other non-lead items in the product category having their prices established through a ratio system that compares relative value for each item in the product category. Like previous rounds, round 2028 will also establish a single payment amount, or SPA, for each lead item that will essentially create the new Medicare fee schedule for the lead item HCPCS code, as well as the non-lead item codes within a specific product category. This is where things start to get different, though. In previous rounds of competitive bidding, awards were made throughout the country by creating competitive bidding areas, or CBAs. CBAs were primarily arranged by geography, and multiple awards were made in each CBA with significant variation in single pricing amounts due to differing regional operational costs. Medicare Competitive Bidding Round 2028 will introduce a new nationwide mail order based distribution system called a Remote Item Delivery, or RID system, which will award only a handful of nationwide contracts and create a single SPA for both lead and non-lead items in each product category. The RID model will increase competition for the severely limited number of contracts that will be available and will create significant logistical challenges for all but a few providers that have the ability to achieve nationwide distribution of competitively bid items. This is truly a game changer from competitive bidding, and O&P providers will need to consider their ability to deliver care under the RID model before deciding to participate in the competitive bidding process. While there are still many questions about Medicare competitive bidding that will still need to be answered, it is now clear that CMS is committed to implementing the next round in January of 2028 and is all in on operating the program under the RID delivery model. Unfortunately, it is highly unlikely that the changes to the competitive bidding program will facilitate improved orthotic care for patients. AOPA will and continues to advocate for a legislative or regulatory exemption from competitive bidding for certified and/or licensed orthotists, an exemption that currently exists for both physicians and therapists. While exemption will still require acceptance of Medicare rates established through the competitive bidding program, It will allow O&P professionals to continue to provide quality orthotic care to their patients in an appropriate clinical setting. This is of utmost importance and is a high priority for AOPA's advocacy agenda. We will keep you informed as more information is published through the CBIC and the Medicare program. Thanks again for joining me today for another edition of AOPA's Take. And as always, AOPA's Take, where you go when you need to know.